The amount of time you can use your iPad before needing to charge it again really depends on how much and in what ways you are using it. There are many ways to maximize each battery charge, and which of these tips, if any, you want to utilize will really depend on what kind of an iPad user you are. Hi, I'm Susan Looney, and in this video I'm going to give you tips to conserve battery power on the iPad. Our first tip is to keep the iPad at room temperature to maximize battery power. According to Apple, one of the most important things to maintain good battery performance is to keep your iPad out of the sun or any other super hot environment. The iPad was made to work in very hot and cold temperatures, but keeping it at room temperature, around 72 degrees Fahrenheit, is most ideal to maintain good functioning and battery life. Tip 2 is to check for software updates and customize the iPad settings. Also, making sure to keep your software up to date will help. Apple updates its software every so often, and many of these updates tell the iPad's internal operating system new and better ways to optimize the battery power. To check for updated software, just connect your iPad to your computer and follow the on-screen instructions in iTunes. Another way is to go into your settings, go to General, and look at your software updates. There are several adjustments we can make within settings to prolong a single battery charge as well. A key adjustment is to the brightness of the iPad screen. Very bright screens use a lot of battery power, so lowering the brightness slider or setting it to auto bright, which automatically adjusts the screen's brightness to the light in the room, will conserve battery power. Save battery power also by turning off connectivity settings. If you know you're not going to be using the internet for a period of time, turn Wi-Fi off. Having it on all the time uses more battery. And of course, if you're like me, you'd rather leave your Wi-Fi on and deal with the consequences of draining your battery a bit. Turning location services off is also a good idea. Or you can minimize the applications that you allow to access your location. If you have an iPad that can use 3G or 4G services, but you know you're not going to be using it, turning that off will help keep your battery strong as well. You can also turn off Bluetooth, turn off push notifications in various applications, lock the rotation of your iPad, and set your email to retrieve emails less frequently by turning push off and letting it fetch for new mail at less frequent intervals or only when you manually tell it to do so. You also want to remember to put your iPad to sleep whenever you're not using it by pressing the button on the top right of the screen, and you can also set it to go to sleep at short intervals of inactivity in the auto lock menu. Our last tip for saving your battery power is to deplete and recharge the iPad battery. Lastly, Apple also recommends using your iPad regularly to keep the battery strong and going through it at least one full charge cycle a month, which means charging it to 100% and then using it until totally drained at or near 0%. Using all or some of those tips will really be able to maximize every charge of an already strong battery. Thanks for watching this video and conserving battery power on the iPad.